There's a lot of development in the VR AR space lately, and is AR actually going to take off just like all other technologies such as AI, or maybe like crypto has a hype and also going up and down all the time? Or maybe it's just hype but never going to go up. In today's episode, and we are going to have a deep dive regarding VR AR technology to understand the state-of-the-art technology and the future trend and how AR VR is going to change people's life. Or maybe it's just one of those buzzwords is not going to be relevant anymore. In today's episode, and we had the pleasure to invite Cristian Waitman. He's a successful entrepreneur in the VR AR space and also had multiple successful exits in the past. Hey guys, this is Dr. Nancy Lee, a direct product featured in Forbes. I've helped thousands of people land a dream PM job offer in FAANG companies, a unicorn startup, and continue to get promoted as a product leader. In this channel, we talk about tech trends and free product management training. Like and subscribe to our new video every Tuesday. Hi, Cristian. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, Nancy. Very good. Thank you for having me.
Great. So I've been waiting for a long time to have this very in-depth conversation with you about VR AR because lots of people and actually hearing about like Apple Vision Pro and all the new technology like Meta's Orion coming out of the market. They want to learn what is going on in the market. So I'm so glad to have you on the show. So Cristian, based on my understanding, you already started multiple companies and sold several companies and also started your own VR AR company. And can you quickly introduce yourself to the audience?
That's a great introduction. Sold several companies might be a stretch, but a great introduction as well. Well, yes, I started a company utilizing a combination between virtual reality, mindfulness, and CBT to help people create or develop healthier habits, starting with smoking cessation, stress management, and currently pain management focused on cancer patients. In the past, I had the chance to produce a documentary for United Nations in VR as well. Use the VR to bring awareness to preserve and reforestate the Mexican coral reef and other cool projects as well.
Very cool. Can you also tell us more regarding your marketing company that you actually started out in as an entrepreneur and pivot into tech?
Well, yes, my background is in advertising. I graduated from advertising in Argentina, moved to New York for digital media marketing when all the social media were booming, 2010. Then moved to Mexico, opened my digital media marketing agency, sold it a few years after to my ex-business partner. In that period of time, at least in Latin America, the startup world was starting to be a thing, like, launching your MVP, scaling. So we launched a few projects or companies, platform for microloans with social media validation to approve or disapprove your loan, a platform to create class actions against big corporations at the time, an app that can track the weather quality in 3 different states, give you recommendations based on your age and gender. So a few of those as well. And then when VR started to be a thing, especially the time that Samsung launched their own headset that you can plug your phone back in the day, it was a little cheaper, more accessible. We started experimenting a little bit with that as well. That led to the company that I just mentioned.
This is awesome. So let's do this. Let's give people an overview regarding the latest, greatest AI technology right now, where we're heading, and is actually going to take off like AI and crypto or not. Because we have been talking about AR for like at least 10 years, literally. I know it's kind of slowly improved, and also it's a lot of excitement recently for Meta's Orion launches. Can you tell us what's going on in the market right now? And it is actually going to be something, or is still at the initial stage?
Well, I think that the market right now, it divides in two segments, I would say. One is the AR glasses, like the Orion project from Meta. Snap has their own spectacles, and Google just presented like a few days ago Android XR.
Yeah.
So I believe those are like the ones that eventually that the glasses that I'm wearing right now. And then you have a second segment that is I would call it like the headsets, like
Hmm.
AR XR headsets, like the Quest, Apple Vision Pro, and I think that Samsung also is doing something or just presenting something similar with the Android XR. I see clear differences in usage for one or another. The glasses are meant to be worn outside,
Hmm.
right? Like an augmentation for, let's say, hey, how to get directions, how to get from one point to another.
Yeah.
Translation with the Google Translate, right, in real time if you're traveling. And I think that that's where it layers, it complements very, very, very well with AI, right?
Hmm.
To have this kind of augmentation on your, let's say, on your eyes, but also with the intelligence of AI. I think that that's the new thing compared to the AR glasses that we've seen a few years ago. So I think that both are gonna, group together and make these devices super, super helpful in the near future.
Yes, and actually, especially the VR glasses, and nowadays I see a lot of like YouTuber review and also lots of announcement from Meta for the on like AI glasses. And actually, right now it looks pretty cool. Looks like real glasses, a little bit thicker. Looks like there's a lot of technology built in. And would you be able to help us really understand the how advanced those technology are they right now? For example, today, if I am able to do things like what we see in the movies, such as the Minority Report, or majority of those movies, that really cool stuff, right? Do you think are we at those technology like breakthrough that people is ready to use it, or there's so much limitations only for demo purposes?
Well, that's a great question, and I think that that's where we have to, as users and tech people that likes to see where is it going, we have to pause for a moment and understand
Mm-hmm.
or try to dissect what is possible, right? What we have right now, right, and the distance in time that separates from now to a few years. I think that, for example, the Ready Player One movie
Yes.
with the VR that we live into a different world is a stretch. Hopefully, we don't get there, right? But I'll give you an example that I've seen a few weeks ago. I think a Stanford graduate grabbed one of those glasses
Mm-hmm.
and created like a demo of with face recognition, right? So he was on the street and like snapping people's faces that connects to the LinkedIn or the pictures that are available from that person, and the glasses will give you, hey, this person is Dr. Nancy Liu, she's the co-founder of Product Insider, right? Let's leave a little bit about the legal and ethics of that proof of concept, right? But that's been done, right, in a small scale. I think that still, for example, the Orion project, I believe that is not going to be solved at the moment, right? They presented, I think they're teasing us or showing us where are they going, right, as a first version or first or second version, right? And but imagine that with 2 3 iterations, I think we're gonna get in a super amazing place. Right now, you can buy the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. That
Yeah.
is more limited, right? You can record and push, but that's a commercial product that is already available for us. And then you have like the Apple Vision Pro and the different version of the Quest
Mm-hmm.
that right now they're doing pretty cool stuff. I think that also maybe gaming is something like a cool games. Like for example, I think Batman is. I've been trying it for the last few days. The Batman is super cool. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy the gameplay. That's something that those kind of games will attract people to buy it,
Yeah.
right? But then I think that the opportunity for all these devices, more the headset ones, is the ability to, besides the entertainment and the gaming, is like the ability to make us better in a way of learning something, right? For example, there's also a game where you can learn to play the piano,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or you can learn how to meditate or
Yeah.
exercise, right? So I think that the gaming can be a super entry point to many users, but then the adherence or the retention would migrate to something more impactful, right? That you could do, hey, I'm going to spend an hour trying to learn the piano or learn to meditate or many other things that I think that would keep users engaged for a longer period of time than a game.
Yeah. So when I experienced this myself at end user, so last Christmas, I got the Christmas gift, which is Meta Quest. I only used once, embarrassingly. So everybody in the family got a Meta Quest. We're supposed to play the family game with all the grandparents and a bigger extended family, 20 people in the family. But I only used it once for the purpose of socializing with grandparents and people I really love. But what really holding me back, really use it to the day-to-day operations, is the fact that you are literally holding something so close to your eyes, and literally I don't feel it's good for my eyes, that kind of feeling. Number one, and also number two, what if I don't like games? I am someone who doesn't really know how to play Super Mario. I can never pass the first level. Okay, it's me. So which means it's kind of far away from someone who's like me, who love more like interpersonal engagement, and also feel like the eyes, like in like interactions are very like soreness and feel fatigue after using it for a while. That's something holding me back. So do you think the industry already have been trying to solve the problems like this from health perspective and also people's like interest perspective?
That's also a great question. For now we focus on when you mentioned the interest, it's like going back to the first generation of the iPhone and the App Store, right? We are still young in the offering, right? Yes, there are cool games, but the upside in that category is huge. I think that James Cameron just partnered with Meta to create 2D and 3D contents. I'm sure, if that person, that guy could make Avatar and Terminator, I can't imagine what he can do with these new technologies, right? So exactly. So in that alley or neighborhood, I think is very promising. Which opened the next question, right? Because Apple is known for, hey, this is our ecosystem, and you should, this is the guidelines stricter, and this you will develop, for us. Meta probably doing something similar, different approach for Google and Android, like, hey, you develop an Android that can be used in different devices. So eventually would be, where do you get this game or this experience first? Like happened with Xbox and PlayStation, or still happening for many years. And health related, I'm not an expert in that sense of using these kind of devices for long periods of time. I've seen, if you've seen the devices for in the last 3-4 years, the evolution, not only resolution, which is getting better and better, the field of view as well, but also like smaller devices. And I remember even the motion sickness that you would get with the earlier devices compared to now, and how tired your eyes used to get a few generations before compared to what we're seeing now. I think is getting better and better.
Yeah, maybe I should give it a try, and also upgrade myself to Apple Vision Pro, or new Christmas gift ideas, or go in the store. Let's try it out. So we'll probably I'll have different perspective, but I do like the idea in terms of the new content. Yeah, and I think content is one of the things really driving people to give a try. And then you start to get used to a brand new technology, just like people introducing like cell phone, watching like videos, YouTube video on cell phone. People in the past, people refuse to really like try to adapt to watching small screen things on your cell phone. But when people test out, surprising as well, people is okay to watching a low resolution videos on little phone, and that's another revolution in introducing all the smartphones and start to like Apple itself. They make more money by selling iPhone compared with selling Apple computer, just because the market started to evolve.
Those trends, and go a little behind, like when you used to use the BlackBerry with the full, keyboard.
Yeah.
When with this touchscreen iPhone was introduced, so many people say, I would never get used to,
Mm.
not having the actual keywords. And now it's like the only option that we have. And even all the generations are using it and comfortable with it. So those technological breakthroughs, I think that in our minds are happen faster than what actually happens, but the transition is going that way. I think that all these companies are seeing we're getting into this new era of slowly transitioning from the phone,
Mm-hmm.
right, to something like the AR glasses. Again, it's not going to be from one year to another. A lot of people will resist, right? When we get into a price point and in a quality and battery life, I think that it's going to be way, way, way more common. And then you can dream a little bit about the even next generation that maybe it's not even a glass, it's a contact lens. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Just like the movies, which also lead to a great thing regarding people start to resist. There's another big topic, which is brain-computer interfaces. I think it leading to bigger resistance as well. Can you tell us more regarding the development brain-computer interfaces? What does this mean? Where we are right now on that very controversial topic?
Again, early stages, but we're already seeing in all these products even different approaches. For example, the Apple Vision Pro,
Mm-hmm.
one of the I don't want to say the key features, but they're using eye recognition,
Yeah.
right? Meta's projects are doing something different, right? They're not doing the eye tracking; they're doing the hand tracking,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we are moving away from controllers, right? For example, I think that what they presented, the wristband, the Meta Orion project,
Yeah.
in addition to the hand tracking, which is getting widely better. I remember using
Mm.
the HoloLens, and yeah, you could do something, but it was messy, of course, bulky. So, and again, and also if you add the AI layer, that I think that took us, most of the people, for surprise how quickly and broadly has been adapted in the last few years. Fun fact, like my dad, 70 large years old, last week, hey, I've been listening about this chat PT and the phone. Can you help me? Like, if someone that is 70 plus is already intrigued and getting to wanted to engage with those things, I think is something very, very, very powerful. And if you add these two amazing technologies and work together,
Yeah.
all these companies, they have the glasses plus their own models. It
Mm-hmm.
will work seamlessly in a very short period of time.
Yeah, totally. That's a power on steroid, AI plus VR. And now let's also talk a little bit more regarding selecting use cases to find the right product market fit. Given we all know there's lots of new development and especially all the bigger tech companies leading the wave right now. And how would you select use cases to find the right product market fit if you were starting your own company in the VR space?
Well, I mean, this can apply with VR or not VR. I think that choosing the
Mm-hmm.
technology first might not be the right first step. I think that the first question is like what I'm trying to solve, which is the problem that I want to tackle. Let's start from there to have very, very, very clear understanding, like what are we trying to solve. In our case, when we started, I was smoking at the time. My other business partners, shout out to them, Nico and Emilio, also had a relationship personally of a close love person with addictions and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it was very, very clear that, let's say, addictions and behaviors were something that we wanted to dig and commit our lives to. Then research, is there something similar
Mm-hmm.
that is trying to solve? And if there's something similar, it's not about sign. And then you can jump into, okay, with what technology, with what frameworks can we work on to tackle the problem that we discover, that we want to engage, that we understand the landscape and the competitive analysis. Okay,
Yeah.
how can we solve it? In our case, was virtual reality. We went with mobile, like the Google Cardboard. That was I don't want to say a tough decision, but it was a product decision that we had to do because, yes, of course, mobile will never have the immersion capabilities and the quality, the resolution that any other of the devices available right now can provide. But smoking is so widely around the world, and it has higher
Yeah.
rates in populations or countries outside the US that are buying these kind of devices on top of what we can develop will leave most of the people that has the problem out of the capabilities to using it or buying it. So we made a trade-off as a product there.
Yeah.
Let's go as accessible as possible. Let's try to democratize access to this solution, and then we'll always be the possibility to upgrade in that kind of sense.
So let me step back a little bit. So what year was it, the device you choose? Can you put some timestamp on it? Because today's technology right now, probably we don't use what you used at the time. Can you tell us what year you started to use what device a little bit, educate audience a little bit?
In the company, we started 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
2013, 14 probably was my first engagement with virtual reality. Personally, I've been always up to date, but I think that the first devices that we started experimenting was the Samsung. I can't remember the name right now, but you used to put the Galaxy phone on a plastic headset.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, I remember. That was like dinosaur of the VR AR at the time, but that was the easy adoption. You're right.
It was the gateway entry to many people that already had a Galaxy or Samsung phone. With I think it was like $100 device. Boom, you have it. And then at the time we had the Oculus back then.
Yeah.
Now we called Quest, and the HTC device as well. Imagine those, you have to plug the computer, connect the sensors around the room. All that is gone now. Now the new devices, they have like a small pack that you put in your pocket, the glasses, and off you go.
Yeah. Very cool. And then fast forward, as you said, at the time you made a very strategic decision. It's more important to drive the user adoptions, to choose something easy, accessible for everybody. And then what's the next step? You test out the new idea, I assume, and how did it go?
Well, then we developed the psychological framework, the cognitive behavioral therapy plus mindfulness as a therapy, like on paper. And our next step was, okay, how we translate this psychological framework that we have on a paper into the technology that we choose, right? Which is VR contents and a mobile app. We develop what we call virtual reality mindful exposure therapy. So we created in the VR environment situations that we knew that would elicit craving to the users. Like, for example, you're in a social gathering, people next to you are drinking and smoking. So that's a very common situation for a smoker, right? The VR, even though the mobile resolution will trick the mind that you're actually there, the cravings will elicit, and we add a mindfulness layer so people or the user will start understanding and recognizing what's going on through their mind and bodies when they're exposed to these situations, right? Because first is you have to recognize, and then what we try to build in the VR and outside the VR with different kind of contents is to separate your actions to your reaction. Because when you're a smoker, you want to smoke, you light a cigarette. So that's where you have to put like a stop and start building, right, the resilience and the tools so you can separate this action to the reaction, like turn off the autopilot.
I see. So basically you train them using VR at home, and then you train them to react and control themselves in social environment when there's other smokers around them, right? So that they apply the simulation at home to real life scenario. That's how they continuously get rid of the habit.
when that situation, social gathering actually happens, they can say, okay, wait, I can recognize what's going on. I trained this. I've been through this, and I learned what to do. Right. And of course, we understand that you're not gonna carry around your headset, so that's why we try to engage with the user in different, let's say, dimensions. With the smartphone, you can access to audios, micro games, small meditations, or even 2D videos, right? So depending the situations where you're at, you can take a few moments and do those kind of exercises that will reduce the stress or the craving at the moment.
This is awesome. So what's the impact? So do you have some data saying that like 90% people stop smoking? Do you have some tracking that like to share with us?
Well, yes, we conducted several clinical research. Some of the John Hopkins University was the first one. Was 33% efficacy rate from people that completed the program. We did with Stanford Healthcare for cancer patients. They were still smoking. I believe it was 24% efficacy rate. Just as a comparison, the patch or the gum that are the most widely used smoking cessation devices or products, I would say, they varies between 4 to 6%, and of course, it's absolutely complementary. You can use the patch, the gums, what we do, right, on one on top of the other to gain more or have more chances to succeed.
Awesome. Hey, through my conversation with you earlier, you also use VR in many different applications. Can you also explain more regarding how you test out which customer segmentation is the best fit for VR? And actually, once you find out which is one, I assume you double down into that specific segment, right?
Yes, I think that there is coming back to the origin question, and the first step is like, where do we want to generate an impact, right?
Yeah.
If you're in the gaming industry, it's probably younger generations, 30 plus as well, right? That they've been gaming and for years, and they were looking for something different, right? To be more immersed in the games instead of like a flat screen.
Yeah.
But then I think there are, I don't want to call micro segments, but very specific segments. People that wants to learn a skill, that it can go for something as simple as drilling something, or do yourself projects, which is, since pandemic to here, has been crazy. I think that's a great addition to that technology. But then it's being widely used as a simulator for learning. If your company is buying a machine or a device that is millions of dollars or hundred thousands of dollars to train people that is going to use this or that devices. I've seen some videos of even like surgery, even remote surgeries, right? So those are very, very specific, very niche, if you want to say, segments, but they all have this technology can have a huge impact how we engage with these kind of technologies.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
actually work on the remote surgery use cases. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when we're still working for corporate America, we're trying to deploy the edge computing technology. I think that was right before the pandemic. That was 2019, 2020, implementing edge computing technology. And we test out remote surgery. We're actually through our, like the first demo is actually working when like doctor doing some operations in San Francisco, but the patient itself is actually in Boston, actually very, very far away. And plus the VR technology will also test out at the time as well. That's where the different kind of niche, more advanced use cases coming up. This is actually very, very
But
impressive.
for example, this example, and this is one example of how, one of your question is, how is XRVR compared to crypto or AI?
Yeah.
And I think that everything will end up layering. Like, for example, this remote technology, yes, you have AR, VR, and robotics,
Yeah.
right? The AR glasses with AI are absolutely complementary, right? So it's not one or the other. It's like taking the best of the two worlds and make a joint, right? Like
Exactly.
a spiral
Yeah.
joint.
Perfect. I love this analysis. And actually, one of them, I'm part of another like crypto VC companies, and two of the unicorn startup we invested and actually like decide to collaborate together with a unicorn, double unicorns. Like this is actually where the future need to be, and just take the best of both worlds and try to create a synergy and grow together. This is awesome. And so now let me ask you this question regarding launching your own product for non-tech people. And lots of things you said earlier quite resonate with me regarding product management, because we have lots of free content on YouTube channel about product management, and lots of people literally land their lots of job offers or become a senior director by taking all the free training from us. And what I realized that actually as an entrepreneur is quite similar to product management in general. It's a very similar thought process, finding product market fit. The only key difference is you have limited resources, you need funding, you really need to generate revenue fast. As a product manager, usually we're getting paid, which our focus really creating the best product. That's where the overlap coming in. So now let's expand this more. So in the space of tech entrepreneurs or like product management, lots of people ask me this question: hey Nancy, I don't know how to code. And I think Christian yourself is quite good example. You start your own tech company and in a very high advanced and tech niche in the VR space, and yourself also came from marketing background. So what would you say to people who want to start and launch their own product for non-technical background? What should you do? What should you focus on? What should you learn as well?
Yeah, I think that when we started, let's say 6, 7, or let's say 10 years ago, if you go to any VC or people who say, "Oh, you don't have a CTO," damn, you're in problems, right? And I think that the last year or so, all these AI tools that are vastly available for 20, 30, $40 per month are so great for entrepreneurs that are doing 0 to 1, the MVP, validating a product, an idea. I myself, I'm learning at the moment at Data Analytics Bootcamp, and I've been learning to code, SQL, like Python, JavaScript, etc., etc. And with the help or the addition of all these Copilot, Cursor, and many others are so much help. Of course, all the tutorials that people like you and many others that do on YouTube. But right now, with very limited or no knowledge on coding, can absolutely push a website, even an app, at least to start to validate, to start getting data to see if there is an interest. Then, of course, if you move to more complex stuff, ideally, you will build a team or have a CTO or a technical person. But now it's even better, or I don't want to say easier, but less complex to start as a non-technical person. And connecting to my marketing background, I think that with all these tools, the storytellers will do a great impact, because even if you want to tell an AI for coding or for generating images or videos, that I think that Google also presented their Veo or Geo 2 days ago. I've been trying it. It's amazing, but in order to have an amazing result or generated video, you have to be able to be as descriptive as possible to tell a story, right? So I think that the tools are absolutely empowering us, but the capability of sharing your vision, your strategy, your plan would be unmatched, and that's the human component that is very, very, very difficult to replace with technology. Again, it's one plus the other, no one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I test out those like no code tools and using AI tools. And back in the summer, I was able to generate and create my own AI model and also fine tune my own AI model using ChatGPT without knowing how to code. And it told me exactly how I need to run Python on my laptop and never know how to code at all. And then I was like, and literally that night, within 3 hours on Saturday night, I literally generate thousands of lines of code and start to fine tune my model and train my own like AI model using 700 different kind of flower images. So I can do vision recognition for all the flower pictures. And it blew my mind only within 3 hours on Saturday night. I was like, this is crazy. That's
And
where
that's
the like technology
advanced.
involvement. Yeah.
Right, that's advanced. A few months ago, I saw a video of a girl, probably 7, 8 years old, absolutely interacting with one of these tools, and she was building a website,
Wow.
right, in 20 minutes.
Hmm.
And, limited, it probably didn't look like the best website you've ever seen, but it's there, right? And imagine that technology in a few years is it's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually put fire and add the boost for me to create my AIPM bootcamp. Now we're on the third cohort for AIPM bootcamp. Guess what? For the past two cohorts, the first cohort we created AI product within like 2 months. The second cohort created 13 AI product within 2.5 months as well, with like 70 developers and many like 30 plus product managers created together. And people was able to create products so fast just by leveraging no code tools or AI tools and then running your own like application on top of existing large language model, and the entire technology actually is enabling people to learn how to code, and even don't need to learn how to code. To follow instruction, run some code and create something fast.
Curiosity is still a superpower.
Yeah,
The willing to trial and error, patience, right? It's not gonna be the end result as you wish in the first few hours, weeks, or whatever. But if it is it's always been a great time to start your own business. But now we have so many tools available that it's almost no excuse, I would say.
exactly. So, Christian, we have been talking about growing businesses, growing product, exploring new technology. Let's talk about growing ourselves. And I believe that growth mindset is one of the most important mindset everyone needs to master, especially the younger the better, because I become a new mom and trying to instill those like important growth mindset to my kids as well. So what's your opinion regarding growth mindset, and also how do you grow yourself personally and professionally?
That's a tough one. Starting with, I'm not example of anything what I'm about to say, but clear goals. I would say where do I want to be in a year, especially in this time of the year, December, that we're setting our goals
Yeah, New Year's resolution.
for next year. Then you have like spiritual, mind, body, and even your network or your people that surrounds you as part of you, objectives to grow. Myself in the last year, and I'm planning to do the next year. I turned 41, so not young anymore. You have to take care of your temple, right, which is your body.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise as often as possible with a clear goal. The fuel that you put inside your temple, I'm being more and more careful and trying to be as healthy as possible. And where do you want to grow intellectually, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know there are a lot of literature out there, a lot of self-help books, and theory books. I myself like to read like novels or fiction, right? Classics, something new as well. I'm always reading a book because it also stimulates the imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always nice to match with a biography of different frameworks of other people are doing. But myself, I feel more motivated and enjoying these kind of fiction novel kind of books, right? And be aware of your surrounding, and of course, don't let's try something new. Coming back to all these tools that are available to us can be used to learn something new, improve your health, your diet, yeah, and always surround with amazing people like yourself, Nancy, and friends and family for sure.
Yeah, and actually, we do plan to meet up in Miami soon. and regarding the priority of your life, and I do believe that where you want to grow your life actually shift based on the stage of your life and how old you are, and also people in your relationship as well. And recently, I took 3 days training, actually 6 days training that helped really realize what I want to do in the future, and they start to prioritize actually health and relationships. Number one, number two, most important thing I need to focus on. And then in addition, career, everything else. Yeah, as people start to focus differently. And then 10 years ago, definitely focus on how can I grow my career, become a director. And then I did become the youngest director in Fortune 500 companies. And now I just feel like the goal has shifted after being a mom and growing my own family as well. So I do love your perspective regarding how you also prioritize different things in your life right now. And now, Christian, I also want to ask you, how can the audience find out about you if they want to continue the conversation? Where can they follow you?
LinkedIn, Cristian Waitman, X or Twitter, Cristian Waitman as well. Yeah, those are the two things. And going back, one of the few constant things in life is change.
Yeah.
So it's normal. It's great to change. Your priorities, the way you think, the way you approach problems and solutions. It's okay, and it's encouraged to be different now than 10 years ago and probably 10 years ahead. So don't be scared to change. It's inevitable.
Awesome. So we start from VR, then talk about growth and talk about change today. Awesome. Hey guys, if you find all the podcasts and wisdom we share with you today very insightful, useful, make sure to like this podcast and also share this podcast with all your best friends and who want to grow themselves as well. This is Dr. Nancy Lee from PMAccelerator.io. I'm going to see you in our next episode right here.